This video will show you how to use the UVU Fulton Library website to locate scholarly peer-reviewed articles for your research assignments. We're going to focus on a database called APA PsycInfo. We're starting on the Fulton Library homepage, uvu.edu/library. You'll notice an Ask a Librarian section with several options for getting in touch with the librarian if you have any questions. You may have used the library's OneSearch database before, especially in your English classes. It combines many library databases together, so it includes articles and books on a huge variety of topics. OneSearch works really well to find behavioral science and psychology articles. I use OneSearch frequently, but we also have other databases that specialize in individual disciplines. To find them, click Databases. This takes you to a list of all library databases in alphabetical order. You can either scroll down to the database you need, or use the drop-down menu at the top of the page to focus on a subject area. I'm going to select Behavioral Science from the drop-down list. This will show you all of the databases that are especially good for research in all majors in UVU's Behavioral Science department. Our top choice databases for behavioral science are listed at the top. You'll find Anthrosource, which is a database that specializes in anthropology journals, and you'll also find databases for research in psychology, sociology, and other social sciences like social work and family science. When you see the OneSearch icon next to a database, that tells you the database is included when you use OneSearch on the library's homepage. In the right-hand column of this page, you'll find contact information for the librarian who specializes in this subject, plus a list of research guides with tips for starting your research, right over here in that right-hand column. We're going to look at APA PsycInfo today, which is the top database I recommend for psychology students. Notice it's actually included when you search in OneSearch. Click the database name to open the database. At this point, if you haven't already logged in, you'll be asked to log in using your UVID and password. The first page in PsycInfo gives you advanced search options, such as a methodology option down here toward the bottom, that allows you to search for articles that use a specific research methodology, like brain imaging. These filters are completely optional, but they're an interesting way to narrow down your search results, so worth exploring. To get started finding articles, you'll need to brainstorm some short keywords or phrases that describe the main ideas you plan to research. You'll probably start with a broad idea, and then focus on a specific aspect of that topic, a treatment method, or maybe an age group impacted by your topic. It helps to jot down your research question and then list all the main ideas you want to research. I'm going to use video games and aggression as our example topic. I actually love video games, but it's really interesting to look at research on how video games may or may not affect our behavior. I'm going to start by searching for video games. And it will start recommending some things that other people have searched for. But notice I placed quotation marks around video games. This is because this is actually a two-word phrase, and the quotation marks just tell the database to search for that exact phrase. And you can either hit enter on your keyboard or hit search. I now see a list of all the articles in APA PsycInfo that mention the phrase video games, more than 5,000. But I was interested in video games and aggression, so I'm going to narrow down my results by adding "and aggression" in the search box. Make sure you include the word "and" between your keywords. It tells the database those are two separate concepts and to only show you sources that include both of those keywords. Adding keywords helps you narrow your results to be more relevant to what you need. I've now narrowed down my results to about 600 items. The middle column shows all of the articles the database found, and the column on the left includes a variety of filters. PsycInfo mainly includes journal articles, but it also includes things like book chapters and dissertations. To make sure you're only looking at journal articles, click the peer-reviewed filter over in that left-hand column. That actually removed more than 100 items from my results. I also like to use the publication date filter, again over here on the left in this column. And the publication date filter tells me when the articles were published on this results list. And to focus on a specific time frame, just change the year. I'm going to change this year on the left to 2010 and hit enter. And now I'm only seeing articles published in the last 10 years. At this point, we can start skimming through the titles to find articles that sound the most relevant and helpful for our research. If you click on a title, it takes you to a page with more information about that article. I'm going to use this first article as our example. At this point, you'll see a lot of important information about the article, such as the author names, the name of the journal where it was published, and the publication date. If you scroll down a little, you'll see an abstract for the article, which is just a summary of what this article is about. It'll include the main ideas and some brief conclusions from the research. The abstracts are really helpful for deciding if the article is relevant to you. If you read the abstract and decide you want to read the actual article, look at the left side of the page for a PDF full text link. The PDF is the actual text of the article, and you can click that link to open up the PDF so that you can read it, download and save, or print. And again, that's that PDF full text link over on the left side. There's also some really useful tools on the right side of the screen, including a Cite button. The Cite button is so helpful. If you click on Cite, it's going to pop up with a box with a bunch of different citation styles for this article. And in the behavioral sciences, you'll typically be using APA style. And if you scroll down, the APA citation for this article is right here. And you can just copy and paste that into your paper. Just make sure that you always proofread these, because sometimes they will leave out some required information or format them a little incorrectly. You just want to proofread these to make sure they're accurate before you actually turn in a paper. Another option that's really helpful over here on the right is this email option. You can click in email and it will pop up with a box where you can enter in an email address where you'd like to send this article. And if you hit send, it will send this article to you with the PDF attached. It's just a really good way to find the article again later. Just make sure you never only save the URL at the top of the web page because it's not stable and won't work to find the article again. You can either email it to yourself or download that PDF and save it. This article included a PDF, so it was really easy to start reading. But what do you do if there's not a PDF included? Let's go back to our results page and look at an example. I'm going to actually use the fourth article on this list. And if we click on this title, if you look over on the left-hand side, the article we looked at before had a PDF, but this one instead says Full Text Finder. It has that little green icon. Whenever you see that Full Text Finder link, just go ahead and click on it. The database is going to try to find that article for you in another database. In this case, it's redirected us to another library database called Science Direct. I see a download PDF link here at the top that I can click to actually download this article. And in this case, I'm still able to get to a PDF copy of this just fine. It just took a couple of extra clicks. And just as a reminder, where we started in PsycInfo, it was that Full Text Finder link on the left that I used to access this article. However, this won't always work. Sometimes we don't subscribe to the journal where the article was published, or we don't have the year you need. If you don't see any links at all on this left side, or if the Full Text Finder link doesn't take you to the full article, we probably only have a summary and not the actual article. But you can get a free copy by submitting a request to our interlibrary loan service. Just keep this in mind. Any article you want to read, if we don't already have it, we'll get a copy for you. Requests through interlibrary loan usually take about 2 business days. Back on the library's homepage, you'll find a link for interlibrary loan if you do need to submit those requests. And then you'll also see an Ask a Librarian section with ways for contacting the library for help, including a chat feature. And that's the basics of using PsycInfo to find scholarly articles. Remember, OneSearch also works well for behavioral science research, and we used this database link to get to the full list of databases. If you have any difficulties finding articles, please ask a librarian. We love helping students with their research projects.